What's going on, Fire Nation? It's your boy Rico, along with my little big cousin G-Baby and our boy Raul, the Zookeeper. And we are the Friendly Fire Podcast, the hottest podcast on either side of the Mississippi. Episode 74, baby. We getting through all the lineman numbers.
74. Black fact of the day. Omari Hardwick was born in 1974. Shout out Ghost. Shout
That's
out
crazy.
Power.
That's actually crazy. I didn't even that's actually really good. So yes, it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Make sure you
Get your apologies out.
Get your apologies. Get your is it because I'm black? Get your not this Black History Month. Get your Martin didn't die for this. Get all of them out. Do it.
No chicken ads.
No chicken ads. No Popeyes. I ain't trying to see no black people in no Popeyes commercials for the next 28 days. Okay.
29 days.
You taking March 1st?
We getting on March 1st.
All right. How y'all doing today, fellas? Wellness check.
I'm doing good for my day off finally. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Zoo, how's it going out there in the land of the Huskies?
I'm good. It's also my day off.
It's freezing cold, so you got to walk the Husky, which is crazy because it's like when I used to have a St. Bernards are like lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, just taking them out to the yard and then they run around for like 5 minutes. They're tired for the rest of the day. They just sleep the rest of the day. But with Huskies, like you have to take them out on a walk or on a run or play with them outside in order for them to get tired so they can just chill in the house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're high energy dogs from what we see on your snaps.
Yeah. You could running the whole clinic over there with just one dog.
It's crazy. It's like 7 years in and I'm still
The fans out there watching.
I'm outside.
Dog been out for 21 minutes. It's freezing outside.
That dog ain't shipping one time. It is too cold for this poor baby to be out here.
Mm-hmm.
Man. But we have a pretty lighthearted day today. We do want to get our condolences and our RIPs out the way. So on behalf of the Fire Nation, RIP to Tyree Nichols. For those who are unaware of what happened, recently some body cam footage was released of his murder in Memphis by Memphis cops. 5 of them that happened to be black. It was an African-American man. He was pulled over. And I what they're saying is he tried to run because they essentially tried to like jump him. Then they caught him and they essentially beat him to death. He died of his injuries 3 days later in the hospital. Luckily, it hasn't gotten too hectic in Memphis in regards to protests and whatnot. His mother and their family spoke up, just saying justice. And surprise, everybody was arrested and fired in record time. Within the same 24 hours, everybody was tried, charged, and they're awaiting their prosecution. I just, I find it very interesting that we just happen to have such a record time in arrest.
Yeah, they bring justice quick when it's black, cop or not,
I didn't hear a back the blue. I didn't hear why was he running. I didn't hear any of that. Nothing.
Pretty tightly sealed case. We saw what happened.
Everybody was quiet. It seemed like justice was served. He did what he was supposed to. Shouldn't have been running. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have. Nothing. I didn't hear
drug
nobody.
scans. He wasn't high on nothing.
Nope.
He wasn't,
Nope.
no toxicology reports. Or,
They just we're gonna lock these guys up. They're doing entirely too much. This is beneath us as an organization.
Cut and dried media don't want to see this.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think it's gonna get much coverage because it doesn't fit their narrative. And one thing people were trying to say, and they were like, "Oh well, why isn't this?" They're asking the obvious questions. Why isn't this getting the media coverage? Why is this kind of just getting brushed right over? And it's like, why do you think? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. When the cops all look like John Bernthal and Chris Evans. Oh no! Well, they couldn't have been. There had to have been some more. I don't know why my camera's acting up. For those who will be watching on YouTube, I'm sorry. They're like, it couldn't have been race related. He was doing this. He shouldn't have been doing that. But the moment they all look like Tyrone from down the block, now it's a problem.
Yeah, shouldn't have been in that office. And we need to make police academy 4 years and root out all the bad apples.
We should have got a psychology report on all 5 of them. How do we not know that they were capable of this? And I don't care that they were black or not. I think there's obviously a grand dysfunction in the police system anyway.
It's a human rights thing at this point.
It's humans feeling like they own one another essentially. And being black or being anything else doesn't take away from that fact, in my opinion. To me, this just comes down to more cops just not being good at their job, bro. And the black, white, or otherwise, like these aren't isolated events. Like, how many needs to happen in a year, in a 2-3 year span, before you realize there's a fundamental issue within the policing system? Like, it's not, I don't think it's rocket science. I think it's very clear cut and dry. But because these are Black people, you can't make it a race issue. So can we just please focus on the fact that there's a problem within the police force? Since it's no longer a race issue, can we talk about the fact that there's a problem within the police force?
I mean, it has to be, because how many videos have you seen on YouTube where it's like, and I'm not trying to be super racial, but it is February 1st, so but
get him out.
But it's like, we've seen people have standoffs with 3 or 4 police officers where they holding knives, and officers are getting pepper sprayed, and dudes weaving guns and
throwing trash cans over the barricades and everything.
You know what I'm saying? And they're just, calm down, son. This dude is license and registration. Okay, officer, he's getting dragged out the car. It's like, give me a chance to wield the knife and hold y'all at knife point for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Like, I want that right just like anybody else.
Yeah. So it's definitely disheartening. I do, you always hope that change is going to come from this, but it's one of those things where, and I feel like this would be more of a catalyst than anything, because like I said, you can't say that this is a race issue. Like, because initially everybody was, oh, well, you're just race baiting because the cops is white. Well, now the cops look just like Tyreek. Yeah. And so now you see, okay, maybe there's a fundamental issue being taught within these 4 walls of the police academy. And maybe there needs to be something that's changed within this so that, we as one, society feels safer with the people who have been charged to serve and protect. And there's less cases of this. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I feel like we're going to need somebody white to die, and not because they were trying to storm the Capitol, because they just got pulled over and somebody got a little handsy. And then next thing you know, that sucks. A white person shouldn't have to die for change to come, bro.
I'm telling you what's going to happen is that Great Dane going to get a little frisky. And it's going to be like, oh, the dog didn't need to be police brutalized like that.
They didn't have to do Scooby-Doo like that.
They didn't have to do Scooby like that. The sandwich,
Yeah. Zoo, what you think of the whole thing? It's crazy. Yeah. What you think of the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think
it's going to change, especially not in, which is crazy to say, but like not in our lifetime. And I mean, we're still young.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think it'll happen just because everything would have to be
basically dismantled
and then brought back up. And I mean, at this point, I think they're too far gone to even do that, especially like the way everything is with like elections and politicians and whatnot. They're not going to want to dismantle the whole police system and bring it back up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been
institutionalized since slavery. That's what they were created for, to catch slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of modified it into this slowly but surely, but still it's not.
I mean, they're basically still catching people.
I mean, that's their whole, they started catching slaves. Now they're just catching, I guess, people who break laws, quote unquote. But half the time that the people they catch, they didn't even break a law. It's like, oh, okay, like I just talked back to them, or I responded like with sass, and now they're dragging me out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, how many videos you see of
that? Like, someone knows their rights, and then the police officer gets mad that the person knows their rights. So now they're like, oh, you're getting aggressive with me, and now they just drag you out the car for no reason.
Yeah.
For being smart. So I mean,
I'm not getting out the car. No, I don't know if I'm getting back in it at this point. So
yeah.
I'd rather fight that high-speed chase case than just get out the,
There was actually a video I seen. This couple was getting pulled over, and the girlfriend or wife, she started recording just to be on the safe side, and the cops got like crazy aggressive, and like they tried to yank his car door. They yanked his car door open and tried to drag him out. And so, mind you, he hadn't done anything. Like I think it was like routine traffic stop. And so he kind of pushes the cop off, and the cop like goes to pull his firearm. He gets in the car and just takes off, and she's freaking out. He's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Then they did like a after, like what happened after. Basically, they were essentially let go, because it's like we seen him just get ready to pull his gun out, just like super escalate the situation way out of proportion. So it's a institutionalized thing within them. But I want to credit Zoo for doing his Negro research on this here Black History Month, making sure he was well versed, getting his allyship on. We appreciate you, my brother. You are safe.
Pass the test, you know.
Pass that test, boy. Oh man, he said I
Let me
call
put my
Kool-Aid
knees-
red.
He put it down so he ain't got to worry about it. Rest of 29 days to
He
go.
good. Hey, watch the podcast. I did my research.
Yeah.
Oh man. But let's get into the lightheartedness. What you want to start with, G baby? Talk to me. What you feeling first?
It's right around the corner. Let's get the sports talk out the way.
Okay, so the Super Bowl is upon us. None of the Bosa brothers are playing. Happy Black History Month. We got 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, but there's been talk around the league that the game is rigged, that this is all storybook. I think Zoo was the first one to bring it up to my attention because the NFL technically files under entertainment or something. So you can technically finagle some of the rules like you could in the WWE. And there's been a lot of talk, and Twitter's been taking off with the everything is scripted. It's been a lot of fun these last few days. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. That Chiefs Bengals game definitely felt some like Any Given Sunday type ish. Like everything was like everything was just working out
For the
to be
Chiefs.
to be super dramatic. Now, didn't nobody tell the Bengals to fumble the chance to score like 3 times in a row? But the little I'm hurt. Just cut me, Mick. I can do it. And then all of a sudden, I'm gonna use this leg to get out of bounds, and then he gets pushed. an extra 15 yards.
Yeah,
very suspicious. What did y'all think of everything going on in the football world, though?
Crazy. It's like
go ahead, Zoo. No, this is your topic.
I mean, it's like I said, the WWE, you know, when someone hits someone over the chair and the ref rings the bell, and then Vince McMahon comes out, it's like, no, this is a no disqualification match. Then start the match over, and you're like, oh, like, come on. It's basically the same thing. It's like, I'm like, obviously it's not rigged, so like these guys can't throw 50 yards precision to fall into the hands, you know, like they're athletes first and foremost, and they could do amazing things. Same thing with basketball. They could put the ball in the hoop better than 99.999% of people in the entire world. But sometimes, especially with the refs, there's some calls that are like I'm sure LeBron thinks it's rigged at this point.
Oh yeah,
with
LeBron
all the bad
serious.
calls he gave.
I mean, that was
LeBron
like 5 games in a row. Last play of the game, they're like, nah, that's not a foul.
Even though it was the man, they had to like attack in the middle of the floor. I thought he was gonna pass out.
That was crazy. I was like, all right, bro, I get you though. But like, I think that's honestly, all jokes aside with him, I think that's really like 20 years worth of no calls he was getting. Cause like there's a compilation of LeBron getting flagrantly fouled and still finishing through contact. And it's like, these people have been trying to take him out. Like, it's not just, he's not getting fouled like a regular human being. They said that I think Shaq said that's why he didn't, well, that was one of his excuses for why he didn't like work out a lot over the summer, was because like, bro, my body hurts. I've been getting beat up for 75 games all year because the hacker Shaq, or I'm too big and all of that type of stuff. He's like, bro, in the summer, I'm going to the beach.
Right.
I am chilling. So I get LeBron's frustration for sure. It's like, bro, like I get it, but that whole like seizure he had, that was hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It was a little bit too much. Pat Bev grabbing the camera.
Pat Bev in that camera, oh my God. He was like, hey, y'all gonna see this.
It's a little too much. I get where they be like, oh, it's staged, it's this, that, and the other. But then I'm like, all right, like when it's that blatant, it's just like, all right. That's like if you dunk it, you be like, nah.
Nah,
ain't count.
Not today.
But what was it like? Perfect example in Semi-Pro. You guys seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
When he threw the alley-oop the first time, the ref was like, foul. No, double foul. It's like people just can't go flying in the air like that. It's like, that's blatant. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that sports is fun regardless. But real quick, back to football. Now that we got the Super Bowl set, we got the Kelsey Bowl, the Andy Reid Bowl, the Black History Month Bowl, whole lot of bowls going on. Who do y'all got winning and why? Why do y'all think?
Patty.
It's very tough to go against Captain Kermit. I'm not gonna lie to you. That boy's good.
If that ankle is any kind of more functional than it was last couple nights ago, they're gonna destroy them.
I don't think it's gonna be destroyed.
It'll be a shootout.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a shootout. That's the type, because the first game, whoever the Eagles played, that was just like y'all boring.
Everybody
They
was
ran out
hurt.
of QBs.
Yeah. And it was just like, okay, bro tore his UCL. All he could do was handoffs. It's like, all right, y'all might as well go ahead and get Robbie Gold back to just kick the ball to the receiver. But yeah, all of that, I do think that the Chiefs probably got the best. They got the most weapons, but I feel like the Eagles are the healthiest of the two teams, especially when it comes to like their primary weapons. Like, they had 2,000-yard receivers. Jalen Hurts might get MVP this year. They may give it to Pat, but I think those are the two like top guys to win it. I don't know. I didn't, because I thought it was going to be Eagles and Bills, and then the Bills just like folded up in the cold. They just like packed it in. I'm like, God, did y'all hit a play or what's going on?
Ever since that picture he took when dude was like looking at the celebration, and he was just like, "Oh man, I'll get there next year." They have yet to get to that level.
He's been watching every year since.
Like, you always watching from the sidelines.
He's just go directly to the locker room after the losses. Maybe he'll switch some stuff up. So yeah. So Zoo, you got the Chiefs as well?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs. Mainly because
going back to it's rigged.
the NFL doesn't like Aaron Rodgers, so what better way to get Aaron
Rodgers out of the picture in the game? My homeboy, as Shannon Sharp calls him.
That's a bad brother, though. I get you, but look,
he's a $500 million quarterback.
Yeah, he got 5 AFC championships by the age of 27. That is, he's been to 5 AFC championship games. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. That's crazy.
MVP, Super Bowl MVP, 50-yard touchdown season.
Like, man, look,
he the man. That's him.
That boy is tough. Patrick Mahomes for sure. That's gonna be tough. I think
Patrick.
You said what?
Thomas Patrick Brady.
Oh yeah, he's supposedly retired. Do y'all think that's gonna stick? I think he's trying to. I think he's either, because I know he had something lined up with Fox to be an analyst, or potentially get like an ownership stake or a some type of like GM type stake in, like, I think they said the Dolphins potentially. I don't know. It's a lot of collusion going on behind the scenes, because apparently he was supposed to retire, then go to Miami, but then I think Sean Payton got in trouble, so like that kind of derailed a lot of that. I don't know. Tom Brady, I feel like for what he did this year, it's like, bro, you might as well have stayed retired. Like, all you did was kind of just continue to boost your numbers a little bit, touchdown wise, but it's like, you fell off a cliff. The divorce wasn't worth it. It's like, was this? Like, yeah, you made it to the playoffs, but at what cost? Like,
you cost everything.
Everything. You didn't have your best receiver in Gronk over there doing commercials and having a time of his life, not getting beat up 17 games out the year. It's like, y'all could have just rolled off into the sunset together.
Y'all might as well have. Y'all had a nice little run. You won that last one. You should have ended on the high note.
Yeah. So we'll see. But speaking of LeBron and keeping in the theme of sports, he is, I believe, 107?
89 points.
89. I'm talking, yeah, when you texted, it was 107. He is 89 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time leader in NBA history. A record nobody thought was ever going to get past, a record that stood for, I think they said 30-something years, 35 or something like that.
Since what, 89, I want to say?
Something like that, because I don't think Kareem played into the 90s. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
He may have played like 90. No, because 90 was when
the Pistons put them out last, I think.
Was that Kareem's? Did Kareem
Kareem's
play that year?
Okay.
So I think until 90. So that lasted for about 30 some odd years.
Nobody thought it was ever going to get. It was the first one.
Yeah. Nobody thought it was ever going to get past, and LeBron is about to do it. Now, the real question is who he going to do it against. And going back to it being rigged, going back to the script, I'm pretty sure with 89 points, that's about So he can, if he in the pace he's getting, he's doing about like 30 points a game, give or take.
25 to 30.
So I think that he's going to end up resting against the Oklahoma City Thunder so that he can do it on the Milwaukee Bucks on their floor over their best player right now. Giannis
Giannis.
He's going to try to skyhook over Giannis. And if I'm Giannis, I am trying to capture every single ball. I might even goaltend. I don't even want to see it go through the net. You're not going to get that's going to be your highlight is seeing me goaltended. You're going to have to get your standing ovation. You're going to have to do your pointing to the crowd off a goaltend. They're going to see my hand knocking your ball out of there. It's not going in the net on me.
If I'm Giannis, I'm destroying my knees jumping to block them shots. Every shot he put up, I am just tearing them ACLs up.
You're not scoring on me easy. You're going to have to get a fast break dunk. You're gonna have to you're not gonna be able to do it the way you want to do it.
No, you do that on Chris Middleton.
Bro, or try to do it on Drew Holiday. You're not doing it on me, and you're not doing it the way you want. That skyhook is not what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to get you.
You're not dunking it on me either.
Nah.
I'll tackle his ass.
I'm gonna get a flagrant 3 that day. Yeah.
Suspension. Nah. I am not. You're not dunking on me. What? To pass the record? No, hell no.
On my floor in my home?
No, like
in front of my kids.
He got 2 points. Drew,
switch.
Stop
switch. Oh man, but that's a crazy. Like I know a lot of people like obviously make fun of Bron for various things, but like to retire top 10 in just about everything. Like I think the only thing he won't, and I think he's actually top 10. He's top 10 in 3-point shooting as well. Like he's like number 4 all time in assists. He's gonna be number 1. He's gonna be number 1 in points. I don't know where he's at in rebounding. That may be the only thing he might not finish top 10 in is rebounding, just because it was
probably top 15.
I wouldn't be surprised. I if you can find out real quick, but it's just like that's a legacy. And I know people were talking about obviously, since he came out the womb, essentially, it was him, Kobe, and Mike, like how you rank them. And one analysis that I saw, it was actually King to Jet Smith. He said it on Draymond Green's podcast. He said LeBron has arguably had the best career of all time, but he still thinks Mike is the greatest. And I think that's a good way to kind of analyze it and think about it. I think a lot of old heads can like recognize that. Like, yes, LeBron has had arguably the best career. Like, yeah, maybe his finals record isn't the greatest, but Jerry West is the logo and he went like 1 for 10. So, like, if we're going to nitpick, let's nitpick on the logo. You feel me? So
LeBron is, sorry to interrupt you, he's 32nd all-time rebounds.
That's crazy.
Which isn't, I mean, I get it. Who's above you? I mean.
Yeah.
It only took LeBron like 30 years
to reach this lane. So.
He was bound to get it. Just like Kareem did.
He was bound to get
it. And that was another thing and that they were saying is like, bro, you got to realize, like, this isn't to take anything away from LeBron, but I hate when they use what he does to take away from people like Mike or whoever else. Like, Mike played 3 years in college. He missed essentially a whole year due to a broken foot. He did the retiring, what you can say, oh, that was his choice. He didn't have to do that, which is fine. He did the retiring. He came back. He didn't even want to retire the second time, but he had to because of everything that was going on with the general manager and everything going on with Krause and them. So it was kind of like a couple things were out of his control. Nobody was coming out of high school back in 84 or 80, 81 when he was in high school. Nobody was doing that. So LeBron had a lot of opportunities to be able to get ahead. Now, I commend him for, 1, being able to stay healthy that long, because that's insane. And 2, being able to like maintain that type of greatness. Because when you look at his averages, like he never averaged under like 17 points a game. Like he came in the league averaging 18 at 18. That's crazy, especially in the more physical time of the NBA. So I got to give him his props. I know people gonna get their jokes. Zoo gonna find something else to joke about, but I don't know what's going on with my camera, but yeah, so congrats to him. I'm definitely gonna try to make sure I watch that game because I know he's gonna try like 5 skyhooks when he's a point away.
That's all he finna shoot. If it's less than 15 or if it's 20, that's all he's shooting until he get it.
I'm telling you, if I'm any of them guys, I'm goaltending. Your game breaking point is gonna be on a goaltend. They're gonna have to see my hand every time they talk about you passing the record. Just
Yeah.
like Michael Strahan sacking Brett Favre, and Brett Favre just kind of just ducked. It was like, all right, bro, go ahead, tap me, get your all-time sacks leading record.
You know who's a hater though? Because I was on Instagram. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh yeah.
Because he was.
Oh
he
no,
posted-
they talked about it. Like they asked LeBron at the start of the season. They was like, "What's your relationship with Kareem?" He's like, "I don't have a relationship. Like he doesn't go out of his way to talk." And then even Irvin said it. Magic Johnson. He was like, "I hope that they figure it out before he passes this record, because like
it's important.
yeah." And Kareem apparently just not big on being nice to people.
I mean, I saw an Instagram post where he was like, "Oh, look who I ran into at the airport, Tony Hawk." I'm like, "What you doing at the airport a week before LeBron finna break this record?" Oh, you a hater, bro.
That boy going to Tijuana.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know if Kareem better than Dwight Howard.
Oh man, nah. So yeah, I'm curious to see if he shows up that day. Magic Johnson said he doesn't think he's going to be in the arena that day.
I doubt it.
So that's all very interesting. We'll see what goes on. But what else we got outside of the world?
I want a quick question.
What's up?
How do you think the reactions are going to be when, like, you remember how in Kobe's last game he was going for the 60 and you had all the celebrities just wilding out? Like, you think it's going to be like that in Milwaukee? Like every point he scored?
Yeah, for sure.
You think the celebrities gonna show out like
Jack
that?
Nicholson is coming to Milwaukee.
He gonna sit next to Bron.
He gonna sit right next to Bron. We getting, bro. That's gonna be so. Milwaukee tickets, game wise, comparatively, are cheap. Yeah. That's going to be the most expensive game that they've ever sold.
700,000.
More than the finals, more than anything else. That's going to be the most expensive tickets ever, and it's gonna be a bunch of celebrities in Milwaukee of all places.
Yeah, but it's just
it's gonna be LeBron's celebrity friends. Where Kobe, everybody, with Kobe, but like with Kobe, everybody loved him. Like everybody was cheering. Any fan in any team, it didn't matter if you were a Bulls fan, Knicks fan, whatever. Everyone was cheering for him for that. But with LeBron, it's gonna be specifically like the people he hangs out with, the people, his banana boat friends, like all them people. They're the ones who are gonna be there. But it's not gonna be like with Kobe, where everybody wanted him to score. You just had random ass people just traveling the world to see it. Well, LeBron is just gonna be like, like my celebrity friends are gonna be there, like the people you always see him with at the shop and all those shenanigans. Like those, like they're gonna be there and stuff, but it's not gonna be the same.
Is Mo Williams gonna be there?
Who?
Mo Williams?
Absolutely. Him and Boobie Gibson gonna be sitting right next to each other. And Anderson Varejao gonna be in the back somewhere with his hair just curling. He gonna have Zadrunas Ilgauskas blocking somebody's view because he gonna want a front row seat to the greatness. Drew Gooden gonna be over there.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. It's like you waited all these years for it. Like, oh, he might not.
Yeah.
Because I thought Kevin Durant would have been a lot close. I thought that would have been like the race. Would have been like, who's gonna get it first type situation.
Yeah, he got hurt and everything. So
yeah,
and then it's like you got to think, bro. Like he spent half of his career in the NBA Finals. That's just more and more times to get points. All of this counts.
I mean, he's been an NBA basketball player longer than he's been alive.
Yeah, more than half his life he's been rich. Like that's crazy. Like that's just like just that mind. Just thinking about that is insane. You've been rich since he was 18. Yeah. Shut up.
Like Robert Parrish, if I score 1 point for 32,000 years, I'd have 32,000 points too.
But man, congrats to the kid from Akron. That's gonna be a fun night. We'll see what happens. I was joking with my homie over on Twitter because I thought there was a chance he'd do it against the Warriors. And I was like, he scored against the Warriors. Draymond gonna stop the game. He gonna grab the mic. All right, everybody, give it up for LeBron James. He gonna give him a hug. He gonna push Savannah out the way. He gonna go into halftime and do his podcast, talk about the greatness of letting him score on him.
I felt bad we won those championships on Bron. I hate Steph Curry.
I really don't like him, honestly. There's only one true kid from Akron for the rest of eternity.
From Charlotte,
Oh,
wherever
man.
you want to place him from, it's always been LeBron.
So it's always been LeBron. New Jersey, LeBron was there too. Oh man. All right, what we got?
Let's talk last thing with basketball. Let's talk about Chris Jackson, formerly known as Chris Jackson.
Oh, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Rauf.
So for those who don't know, I didn't know until much later. Rauf was one of the like flashiest players in NBA history in the 90s. He basically had everything going on. He could jump, he could shoot, he had handles, he did it all. The issue,
Steph,
essentially, the issue was he was very open about a Muslim, right? I want to make sure
he's open Muslim.
He was very open about his Muslim beliefs, and it wasn't to the same stature of like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, where it's like, hey, I'm Muslim, but on the court, I'm on the court type of deal. Rauf was big on, he prayed during the national anthem. I think sometimes he didn't come out during the national anthem. He was very open, and the NBA blackballed him and essentially made it where he would never hoop again, in the NBA at least. He popped up every now and then for like speaking engagements. I know he was in the Big Three for a couple years.
Play in the Big Three, and
he can still hoop. He stayed in shape and whatnot. And so now I think Showtime is doing a 3-part docuseries on kind of like the rise and fall once he converted and how everything kind of changed for him. And Zoo, you had some very strong feelings about it that I think need to be heard. What is your opinion on, one, the documentary, and two, kind of how everything's being portrayed now?
Yeah. So I mean, the documentary is cool because it brings out more awareness of something like
a lot of people, like you say, you didn't even know yourself and whatnot. I basically first heard of him.
What would have been? It was like through 2K, but
it was like 2K12, 2K13. He was one of the legends. You know, I'd create my like own team, like the fantasy draft, blah blah blah. And I
pick him up because
he was like rated like 89 or something, like with like a 95 3-point shot or whatever. And I was like, yo, that's insane. But I've never heard of him before. So I was like, whatever. And
so I think it's cool. Like,
it's bringing awareness. The only thing I think it was not cool is like, at least from the trailer that they have all these like ex-basketball players, ex-celebrities, whatnot, you know, the usual for a documentary. And in the documentary, they're like saying same thing that you just said. They blackballed him. They left them out, like blah 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 blah. So it's like,
why did you say anything?
Right.
What was happening? Because you were there in the 90s playing in the league. You could have said something. You could sit up for him.
You know, same thing like with the NFL. Like you could say with Colin Kaepernick, some people stood with him, but like the whole league didn't stand with him. And now they're like, oh, he should get a chance. It's like, why didn't you like
solid or like convince someone,
like as a person, like a big name, like, hey, I want that as my QB. Like you're a receiver, you're the top receiver, you're Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, whatsoever. Why don't you say, hey, I want Colin Kaepernick as my QB or something like that? Like I'm sure you have some sort of weight that you could have done it. So at this point, it's just like you're just saying it to say it because it's the right thing to say, but you didn't really mean it. And same thing with people in the 90s. Now you're saying, oh, we should have like stood up for him, blah blah blah. Well, why didn't you? You know, and like obviously we know why they didn't, because of the money. You know, same thing with when the Bucks walked out with the George Floyd thing, they didn't want to play, and then LeBron told everybody, nah, we playing. Y'all ain't messing up my ring. Y'all ain't messing up my money. Y'all ain't messing up my movies in China and whatnot. Like y'all gonna get on that court and dribble.
Which is crazy because it's like the whole
shut up and dribble thing is like,
you guys use it like they use it like when it benefits them, you know, because like if someone says it, they don't want it, but when they have the chance to not
shut up and dribble and actually stand up, but messes up their money, then
it's like, oh, never mind, I'll just shut up and dribble.
Yeah, real quick, G baby. One thing that you also got to think about during that time is, in regards to race relations and all of that type of stuff, there was nothing that really went on besides the OJ trial, to my knowledge, in the 90s. Whereas when Kareem, Bill Russell, and everybody was coming up, it's like you couldn't dodge it. Like it was all race-related type of stuff. You see them in the pictures with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X and marching and doing what you had to. And nowadays it's getting more elevated and whatnot. So now you get more and more players who are more willing, at least in the NBA. NFL, not so much, mostly because they contracts ain't guaranteed. You get a lot nowadays, they're willing to step up and speak on it. In the 90s, it was kind of one of those things. I know people were saying like, one day you say you too hurt for practice or something, your spot may be gone. So imagine you speaking up against the big bosses and you maybe 6th man off the bench. It's like, well, now you 13th man. You not on the team. So it's like you were saying, that money and all of that. And I also think because there was nothing really going on during that time to get people brave enough to speak up or speak out. And I don't even, how many not OJ, I meant Rodney King. How many celebrities were speaking up during the Rodney King thing in the NBA? Like, you feel me? So if there was nothing that was going on during that time, there's almost like no catalyst for that first person to be like, this is wrong. And then, some people are followers, it is what it is, but then you get more rich people saying this is wrong, then it kind of can build something. But like you said, nobody want that money to get touched.
And I mean, it's like they have a history of it. Because I remember Craig Hodges. He was a 3-time, 3-point contest champion. And he wore, when they won in 92, he wore the dashiki to the White House and handed the president a letter about like how he treat black people or how you treat people during the Gulf War, I think. And that nigga didn't play again. On the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
3-point specialist at the time. When,
the best in the league at the time.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, this nigga's never been heard from again.
At all.
It's like, you tell us to shut up and dribble, and then when we don't, you're messing up the money and everybody was getting paid in sandwich meat back then anyway. So it's like, yeah, of course I'm not going to speak out. This nigga, he's making all the right points. But it's different if Magic Johnson was doing it. If it's different if Mike was doing it. It's different if Larry Bird came out and was like in a dashiki talking about, I want to change my name to Ishmael Ahmed Abdul and shit. It's different because it's a level of star power. But at the end of the day, you got Chris Jackson, got Craig Hodges. Like, man, niggas might have looked a different way if it was Scotty.
Yeah.
Even if it was Mike, of course. But it's like, am I going to throw my career, my money away? Because then if Mike stands by that, or like I say, Shaq was a teammate. They played together at LSU. And you didn't say nothing. But now you want to be Mr. Activist and all, but you didn't stand up for your teammate.
So how much, when stuff like that happens, do you, because, a lot of people, they can say, oh, I have regrets and whatnot. Does that start giving more validity to what they have to say now? Because if, excuse me, if they come, like, if they go on the, like let's say they go on the show and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, man, I was telling Raouf, man, I'm like, yeah, bro, what they doing to you is crazy. Now, if you start saying that, and then it's like, well, where were you when they asked you about that? That's one thing. But, I feel like, because even Mike admitted it when during his Last Dance documentary, when the whole thing with the Republicans and sponsoring whoever was going to be governor in North Carolina came about, he was like, well, Republicans buy Jordans too. And he was about his money. He's like, I'm not going to side with anybody because I don't want to mess my money up. But he even said in the documentary, yeah, that might have not been the right way to go about it. But you can respect the fact that he owned up to, all right, yeah, I was too trying to play the middle for my bread, even though he didn't say that verbatim, but you could tell that's what it was about. He said, I was too in the middle about it. I can deal with, I think, hindsight.
Right, I can deal with you changing it.
But like you said, I don't want people, don't get mad when it's like, well, were you mad back then and then just chose not to say nothing?
Right. That's my thing, is when you speak on it, you got to be honest and be like, I was wrong for not standing beside him because he was saying what was right. Don't just be like, oh, yeah, I pulled him aside and told him, like, don't make up no story. Like, you didn't say nothing. It's just like, slap on the wrist. It's back then. Hindsight is 2020, but just don't try to fake the funk now and just be like, oh, this, that, and the other. Anytime something political comes up, it's like somebody got so much to say about it now, especially like even back then, Barkley, like you was the one wearing the fuck Iraq hats and talking about the presidents and this, that, and the other, but you didn't say nothing then. Don't say nothing now. Like, your opinion doesn't matter now because it's already been happened. I can't get them 10 years back on my NBA career that I lost when I was in my prime. So, I mean, anytime it gets brought up, you have to, I'm sorry, I didn't speak up and do more and this, that, and the other. Like, you have to live with that. Don't try to shoulder and be like, oh, well, if Now, like, no, you didn't stand up now. It's okay to be the activist now, but don't, like, back then that happened. You didn't say nothing. Don't say nothing now. That's kind of my thing. You see how bad they was treated. You see how bad he was treated. How Craig Hodges. Anybody back then would have loved to have a 3-point specialist on their team like Craig Hodges. But you didn't say nothing then. Don't say nothing now. That's all. Just don't try to be on my side now.
I feel that. Zoo, you got any final thoughts on it?
No, not really. Just that, like, don't pick and
Choose when you can use the excuses. Like I said, with the whole shut up and dribble thing.
like, don't get mad at that.
White Fox girl reporter for saying shut up and dribble. And then when Adam Silver tells you to shut up and dribble, you shut up and dribble.
It's like, stand, either be with it or not. Just.
If you want to be mad about the subject, not who's saying it.
Yeah. Real quick. Speaking of Fox, Fox has given Roseanne Barr, for those who don't remember, they give her own special on Fox. So for those who may or may not know, Roseanne Barr is the title woman of the show Roseanne. Great show during the 90s. They decided to bring it back around, and she got a show in, I think, like 2018 or something like that. They brought Roseanne back. Then she got in some trouble she got caught saying something racist or something on TV. Something. It was something like that. And so they were like, well, what do y'all plan on doing? Shoot, ABC was like, all right, we'll just kill her off and keep the rest of the family together. And that show is now a hit. The show is
still going on?
Yes, it is still a hit, bro. I think it's on like season 3. They renamed it to
I thought they canceled the whole
They canceled Roseanne, but they literally just brought hey, we coming right back around, same people. We're gonna call it the Connors, and we're gonna address her being dead, and then we're gonna move on. It's done after that. So she disappeared for like 2 years. Right. And now she's back with a special, and of course Fox is the one to give her the special.
Oh man,
like that doesn't surprise anybody at all. So I just thought that was funny. I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's wild how many chances people be getting. Some people be getting.
Yeah, when it's convenient to their message, everybody get a second chance.
Everybody gets third chances and fourth chances.
Shoot, Louis C.K. is selling out arenas again. He's back to like selling out, and some woman, she was being sarcastic, but she was talking about like, oh, just because somebody gets accused of doing something, just because they admit to doing something, that doesn't mean you should cancel them. And then she like moved the camera, and you can see Louis C.K. sold out. It's like, it's like, man, like that's you know how that go. So. But let's get back to it. What else we got?
We can piggyback off that with the gym harassment that's been going on lately.
So in the age of clout and everybody and their mama needing to be seen, and I shouldn't say that because there are some people who are actually doing positive things with gyms and building content for that. There's been a recent wave, I want to say maybe the last year, of sadly, specifically women, recording themselves in the gym working out, and the slightest glance walk by from a gentleman, now all of a sudden it's content. Oh, I felt so uncomfortable. Or, oh, he kept looking at me. Oh, he kept being weird. And honestly, Jimmy Swole been working overtime trying to get Joey Swole. I did that in the TikTok video too. Joey Swole been working overtime trying to get people to stop this because one is disrespectful to the person you're claiming is looking at you, especially if he or she didn't have that type of intent, and their face is now plastered across the internet because all these videos go viral. Then they make their way to Twitter, and it's all of that. So there are plenty of videos now with guys' face like all over. Oh, he was looking at me. He kept walking by. Well, it's because you're sitting in front of the 45s with a tripod, a ring light, and music going. He's just trying to get to his exercise.
Like you filming a whole production over here. I'm just trying to hit the treadmill and get up.
Right, Miss Madam. Go.
It's hilarious. Like the fear gym girls have of Joey Swole is hilarious because I follow this one chick on TikTok. And like usually it's just for like her random ass content. Like she goes on rants.
It's pretty funny. But she made like this TikTok. She was at the gym, and it wasn't like she was recording herself like actually work out. I think she was just talking, and she was like, "Oh, I just saw a guy like I guess his shirt lifted up, and it was like it gave me the ick or something like that." and like 3 or 4 people commented at Joey Swole, like tagged Joey Swole in the comments, and literally she just deleted the video. She didn't even let it blow up for him to react to it, for it to get. She just deleted that real quick because I saw that and people started tagging him, and I was like, oh, like if it goes viral, she's pretty popular on TikTok, so I was like, if this goes slightly viral, he's probably gonna react to it. So I went back to it, and no, she just deleted it before it even got the chance to go viral.
Because they know they're wrong.
Good choice. That's the thing. It's not like this is somebody who it's not like Joey Swole is somebody who harasses people or roast them or something like that. He calls out BS in the gym. He calls out men and he calls out women. And there was a video I saw, I think 2 days ago. This young lady, she was stretching in like the multi-purpose room, and it was an older gentleman. He was on the sandbags. You know, he's older, so he ain't really going crazy, but he's like kicking and trying to get like his mobility and whatnot. And whatever sound she used, it was making fun of him. And there go that bald white man with that gap in his hat. He was like, so
frolic as hell in the car.
Yeah, just in his car, just like, so you decided to videotape this gentleman getting his workout in. You understand that he's older, like you decided to do all of this, and it's one of those things where it's like, yes, it's clout. I'm gonna get it out the way for you, G baby. But it
Big C.
Big C.
Big C.
I would get it out the way. But it's just one of those things. It's like, one, there are creeps in the gym. Absolutely. And honestly, a lot of times they're very obvious. When I first started seeing videos like this, these guys were like obviously being creepy or being disrespectful or being rude, and women too. So it was one of those things like, okay, cool, this needs to be addressed. But it's like, just because, and I don't know, I can't think what it's like some psychological name for it, but just because you see it happen to somebody else, you can't assign every situation that happens to you to be the same thing, because it ain't.
Right.
You feel me? Just because somebody else was rude and was like, oh, you don't have to have all of these weights, this, that, and the third, and then somebody asks you, are you using those 15s? That's not the same. That is not the same thing.
Yeah, he tried to rape me.
Like, no, bro, they're just trying to get their workout in. And I just think that what's going to happen is that it's going to start negatively affecting people who actually make money off of making gym content and teaching people how to work out and record. And it's disheartening, because there's one or two things either going to happen. Either like Export LA Fitness are going to start putting a ban on tripods, cameras, and all that, because now you're making the masses feel uncomfortable.
Right. And
now these content creators are going to have to go to these specific gyms or go at like asinine hours in the morning or late at night to get their workout in for the sake of building content to help out other people. And it's like, you trying to chase clout is negatively affecting so many other people. It's negatively affecting the person you're recording. It's negatively affecting people who make money off of this, people who are looking for workouts, and let me see what G Baby did. Well, guys, I can't do workouts at the gym anymore because they banned tripods because there's been so many people X, Y, and Z. Ruins the whole feng shui of everything because you decided to chase clout and go viral. It's like, bro, ain't nobody checking for all of y'all. Come on now.
And it just seems like there's I might be sounding a little misogynist, but it just seems like there's this big attack on men, just in general, whether it's in TV shows or just like this. Because what if it was like a woman, and just say it's like a pretty woman, something like that, comes up to another woman and it's just like, oh, you're so fine, and oh, I love your workout, like not being disrespectful, but giving you this attention that you didn't want. Is it negative or positive?
Questions that need answers.
And if I can spin a web for you guys where I think it's gonna go.
You're gonna do it anyway. Go ahead.
I'm gonna spin this web. What's coming next? Is there's gonna be a woman at Chick-fil-A. She's gonna order something. And while she's at the side waiting for that food to be prepared, a gentleman's gonna come behind her and surprisingly order the same thing. Who the hell is this creepy guy ordering an 8-piece nugget and get the salad like me? Ugh, this is pedophile behavior. No. I'm spinning that way. I'm throwing that out in the universe. That's coming.
Man.
It's not far-fetched, is it?
I hope not. I hope it's not coming. And another thing,
the same Starbucks drink as me. Ew, he heard my order. Why are you listening so hard?
Yeah. And another thing that I see coming is the internet's gonna find a way to start turning on Joey Swole because what's good. Yeah, I said his name right that time. Yeah, they've started. They've started.
They're already calling them like misogynists. They're like,
Oh, you only pick on women. It's like, no, like if you go through his actual videos, you see he
Yeah.
does both sides. If a dude makes fun of a girl, makes fun of another guy, makes fun of like someone that's fat or anybody else, like any negative content in the gym, he like replies to it. But the ones that have been going viral lately are the women ones.
Because that's what's provocative. That's why.
yeah.
It's the people going.
It gets the people going. You got a big, swole, bald-headed white man making fun of some skinny, petite woman. Not even making fun. That's how it's gonna be viewed.
It's bullying.
Yelling at some skinny, petite. Now this is bullying. Now you're using your platform to shrink it. And then what happens? Some of these people start deleting their pages. Some of these people. So it's like, this isn't because he bullied you. He called you out on your BS, and you couldn't handle that. And now we have a whole nother issue at hand. And that I'm not looking forward to seeing that personally, because I genuinely think, unless he got some deep, dark January 6th type secret we don't know about, I genuinely think he's out here for good reasons. I don't know. I know he's like a legend apparently in the gym world. I don't know much about him besides this. So I don't want anything coming out about him based off of that. Like if he's just a jackass of a person, then let that be what comes out. But I don't want people just turning on him because the last month it's been a lot of videos about women that he's done.
Like I said, they've already started trying.
And even it's crazier with him. I think it's a little harder because like so many like people back him up.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen like in his comments when like another, like you said, like a fit
creator, fit
influencer, whatever they want to call themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a woman like backs him
up.
Her comments then are
riddled with her, oh, you're a pick me. Oh, yeah, you would take the man's side. It's like, no, she's just sticking up for like what you're like
the right thing.
Random person who's in the background, and now you're calling her a pick me. Like all the women insult, which is when we go back to like when like people are like, oh, guys are like homophobic, blah blah blah. Yet the first insult is, oh, he's zesty or he's sassy or he's blah blah blah. So it's not like there's no winning. They have right now they have the perfect formula working. They have the game plan, the sets, their favorite plays on Madden.
Yeah.
And they're running them, they're executing them perfectly. It's that one cheese play that every time that wide receiver is gonna be open, I just have to press circle at the perfect time. And he's running off for a touchdown. It's that. It's like
you can't say nothing.
Ticky-tock time.
Yeah, that's gonna be. And speaking of turning on people, this can lead to one of the last segments. Keith Lee, the MMA and food reviewer, shut up. So for those, everybody should know or have a relative idea of who Keith Lee is. For those who don't, he is an MMA fighter who recently took off. Shut up. Who recently took off to stardom by doing food reviews in his hometown of Las Vegas. He does these reviews, especially for like mom and pop type shops and places that may be struggling, and rate them 1 to 10. And now these people are like getting lines out the wazoo around the corner. He's really helping these businesses like take off, and he doesn't demand any money from these small businesses. He's like, he's looking for his own stuff. And so what happened? It's been about two weeks. We're a little bit late. This woman gets on TikTok, and I'm gonna just break down what happened because it pissed me off. So what happens essentially is she gets on TikTok saying, oh, I didn't even know if I should have made this video. I really contemplated. I thought about it because this is a food reviewer we all know and love. She never says the name, which is soft in my opinion. She never says the name.
Not the name like Pac did.
Yeah. So, about a month ago, I reached out to him. Or did you say to him or them? I think she tried to like super dodge around who it was. I reached out to them with an idea. I'm an Emmy award winning producer and director and all that type of stuff. So she starts trying to throw her accolades out there. So I threw an idea out to them, and they were very kind and said no thank you or whatnot. And then I said, okay, that's fine. Everything doesn't hit. And then a month later, I see him doing the exact same thing. And so Keith answers, and he's like, okay, first of all, I have receipts of all the messages you sent me. You said what you wanted to do. I told you I would get back to you about it. I got back to you about it, and other food networks have been asking to do the exact same thing. Essentially, what they wanted him to do is what he was already doing. We want you to dress up in disguise, go into these businesses and rate them 1 through 10, and then find out if it's because of the food, the marketing, the customer service, why they may be struggling. Right. Niggas been doing food reviews since the beginning of time. There's nothing new under the sun. Gordon Ramsay has a whole show based off of doing that. Before he takes over the restaurant, he goes in disguise and orders their best quote unquote. Guy Fieri does the same thing. Like, so, and
it's not new.
TikTok was not having it. Twitter was not having it. They was like, what you're not about to sit here and do is come on this app, 1, not say his name, and then 2, insinuate that Keith Lee is stealing ideas from you that aren't even original ideas, first off. And then she comes back up and says, oh, well, this isn't an apology video, but I just want to let it be known that Keith should have came to me in private. No, you decided to air this out for the world to see and thought that you was just gonna be able to kind of hide and it not be seen. And now that people calling you out, now you got an issue. Now she want to turn her comments off. Now she want to do, bro, stand in it. Stand in it. That's my thing. If you come out and you say so-and-so stole my idea, my thing is, if somebody really stole your idea that has some serious money behind it, I would think you would want their name to be on the forefront. I don't think you would be dodging around who they are. No, Keith stole my idea. Zeus stole my idea. I always want to do a podcast in the car with my husky running around. He decided to do it first. You feel me? Like, if I like that's the type of stuff. If you are really serious about your bread, I think that you would want to be known. So that type of stuff pisses me off, because it's when you see somebody doing something positive, that's when, and you know it happens every time, whether it's a rapper, whether it's an actor. I'm waiting for that. Well, they already don't like the fact that Jonathan Majors is, I think he's married or dating a white woman or something like that. They're gonna find something. They're gonna find something else. They're gonna find something else to get mad at him about. They're gonna find something. They found something to get mad at Patrick Mahomes about. Oh, how dare he be married to a white woman and have a kid with her? Like, you just nitpicking that stuff to be upset about.
That don't concern you. That
doesn't concern you at all. So that's when niggas start lying and coming up with stuff when people are doing good. That's what bothers me. When niggas is doing good.
And a lot of it is like, when you get all up self-absorbed in your head and egotistical, like, nah, yeah, this idea is $1 million idea. Mm-hmm. And then when the guy that's like known for $1 million ideas says, nah, that's not it. It might be a thought. And he reworked it into something else, but to take full credit of, I took his whole he took my whole steez because he didn't like your idea. That's just completely different, especially because it's not his idea to begin with. He ain't the first person to profit off a food review. We got Anthony Bourdain. We got
bro, like it's literally like a section of Food Network dedicated to going into these places, and then they'll plaster it on their wall. Guy Fieri came in here and named it top 99 restaurants of 2005 or something like that.
Midwest.
Yeah. Like,
best hot dog of the Midwest, like type shit, you know?
What are we doing? Yeah. So that, you know, it's that main character syndrome. It's selfish, it's disrespectful. And it's just one of those things. I'm glad that it didn't gain any serious traction. And you know, it's sad because like when you see whether it's a rapper, whether it's whatever, like the baby did it to himself, but you saw that they were getting ready to start doing it to him, and he kind of just kept adding gas. He helped them. They did it with Drake very quickly once he started getting numbers up. It's just like it doesn't take much for people to, oh, you're successful. You're not this SoundCloud rapper I found back in 2015 anymore. Oh, okay. Well, we got to find something, because how dare you continue to grow?
Crab in a bucket syndrome.
Yeah, sadly. All right, I'm good.
Last thing we got to talk about.
I'm good.
Last thing we talking about is everybody's favorite cop duos reuniting for the last time, hopefully. Lord permit.
Bad Boys 4, baby. Why do they need a Bad Boys? Who cares? They got 10 Fast and Furious movies, 16 Transformers movies. They got 9 Jurassic Parks. It don't matter. Let it happen. Like Martin and slim down a little bit. Let's get all the shenanigans. I need Will, like I said, jumping from a helicopter onto a motorcycle and not breaking a sweat. I need all of it. I need all of the foolishness.
I need no stakes, like just a Bad Boys 2. I need Bad Boys 2 too. That's what I need.
Also, just this is the case of
This is the case. We gonna solve it. There ain't no hidden. Will got shot and Martin got shot. My son's been kidnapped. This is the case. We gonna explode some stuff. We're gonna have a car chase. Martin gonna be yelling. Martin gonna not want to do it. He is gonna want to be a cop forever. He's not ever gonna retire again.
He's the most unretiring nigga in the world, bro. That nigga wanted to
retire as much.
That nigga wanted to quit in the second one and came. He wanted to transfer in the second one. It's like, bro, yeah, one of y'all need to be captain by the end of this movie. Honestly.
I get it. I get the transfer in the second. I was like, all right, bro. The first one you was wilding a little bit, and I keep getting in trouble because of you.
Yeah,
my career sucks. Fucking with you, Will.
I mean, running around with this white girl getting shot at. Yeah,
but it's just like Martin's got to be the captain. He's got to be the captain.
Martin makes the most sense to be the captain.
He's got to be the captain. Because then it's like, what else are we gonna do? I don't need this to be, because Bad Boys 3 was a little fast and furious.
I enjoyed it though. I genuinely enjoyed that.
It was all right. The helicopter thing was a little too soon.
It was kind of funny.
It was a little too soon. I'm like,
They shot. Was that who was the reggaeton artist that guest starred in that zoo? Do you remember?
I just remember Vanessa Hudgens.
I remember.
Because I'm pretty sure
30 seconds.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all coming back. I'm pretty sure Will's son is going to be in it again. As you know all about this cartel stuff. We're going to need you on the case. It's like he just murdered like 3 cops. How is he allowed to be on the case?
How's he free?
What are we doing here? I don't
he
think
shot you.
He shot your boss right next to you. Like, I don't think this is allowed.
Will. Like, he was laid up in the hospital.
He was putting that the 4 men on your mustache as you was going gray. You couldn't walk. You had to get all dramatic and walk at the wedding.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
But no, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm looking because it's just like, why not, bro?
It should be a fun movie.
Yes.
It should be fun.
Yes. I'm at a point.
Part 3 was a little too serious.
Kind of. I'll give you that. I'm at a point personally where it's like, Black folks need to have our just because movies, in my opinion. Have some fun. Because Fast and Furious, there's no real serious stakes. Yeah, a couple people have died. Like, they're cool. It's action. You expect it a little bit, but like
a great video game. It's like movies. It's like I get it, but it's like a little over the top.
Yeah, and so it's like, you know what? If that's what's gonna make 875 million in the box office, go ahead, Will, do it. Because why not?
Because like the Fast and Furious got me questioning why we even have like a military when we could just send Vin Diesel and Ludacris. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just pay them $500 million a piece. And you know what I'm saying? Like, get rid of the military. We don't need that no more.
That man be working on his car. Toretto, we got another case.
I got to do it for family in the middle of the barbecue. Like,
family is like, all right, bro. But no, I'm looking forward to the foolishness. I have no real expectations. But actually, now we can close on this. Speaking of expectations, James Gunn, who is now the co-executive director of the DC universe. For those who don't know, he also was the director for Guardians of the Galaxy, which a lot of people believe is like some of the best that the MCU has put out. Depends on who you ask. He is now in charge of DC Studios, and yesterday he released almost a 6-minute video kind of mapping out the plan of where DC was going to go. Very similar to how Marvel does with their phases and whatnot. And so he introduced some interesting titles. They're basically rebooting Superman. He's going to be younger. He's going to be learning to balance being a Kryptonian and his human side. They got a Supergirl movie coming out where basically she spent time on like a chunk of Krypton after it exploded, and she's a little bit more jaded, a little bit more hard, probably more of a warrior. They got some series coming out. Green Lantern is kind of having like a buddy cop type feel. They're getting a show between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And then Batman, they're doing Batman the Brave and the Bold, which is going to revolve around Batman and his son Damian. Now, for those who either follow me on TikTok or have even watched any of our videos when we've talked about DC been tweaking a little bit between some of their movies have been hit or miss. they won't fire Ezra Miller. I don't know what he has on the DC staff, but he's like a domestic terrorist, and he's still got a job. And so a lot of people have semi hope that DC might be turning the tide. G Baby's not as convinced. What is it like? You got to see it first. You got to see where they headed.
It's just like with the Superman thing. It's so hard to make a Superman movie because he's so overpowered, and you have to rush through. Like nobody wants to see Superman solving neighborhood crime. Like True. That's boring. Then Batman, you have a good thing going with the Robert Pattinson thing. And it's just like, I feel when you get to Damian, it's like you have to put so much into that to appease the comic book guys. Like, well, Nightwing was such a big part of Damian's growth, and this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. It's like how many characters do you legit care about? And are they gonna make these characters like
worthwhile?
Because I mean, you even got like, and I'll be the first one to admit it, going into the MCU from Iron Man, I didn't watch Iron Man until years later.
Really?
Like I didn't care about Iron Man. I didn't care about Captain America. I didn't do none. Like the thing that got me into the MCU, I want to say, was Avengers.
Oh wow! So it took you.
Because I remember in high school when it first came out, me and my boys, shout out Stokes and Tim, they was like, "Oh man, we finna go check out this Avengers." And I was like, I ain't seen Iron Man 1, I ain't seen Iron Man 2, I see
Captain America,
Captain America, the Incredible Hulk.
Thor, you had seen none of that.
Spider-Man 3, that was about it. That was like the last.
That was your last taste of Marvel?
That was like the last taste of it. So then I saw that and I was like, okay, it was worth it. Like I didn't see Thor until Ragnarok was coming out.
Really?
I didn't watch none of them until Ragnarok.
Wow.
I only like Spider-Man.
I don't like superhero movies. Like that's why these new Marvel movies, I haven't seen any shows. I haven't seen any movie. I might see the big movie. I'll definitely see the next Spider-Man. But superheroes, I'm only.
You better see the one where Kang is in it. That's all I know. Yeah, all I know. You better see the one where Kang is in it.
I haven't even seen the new Black Panther with the Mexicans. So
yeah,
like I'm just not interested really. Only Spider-Man and like if you give me a Batman Beyond movie, as I'm gonna watch.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy, by the way.
And then that's the point I'm making about DC is like, are you gonna really make a movie that's gonna make me care about Green Lantern? Are you gonna make?
I hope so because I grew up on Jon Stewart, like with the Justice League in the cartoon. So I really want to see that done correctly because I still to this day when I found out like that Ryan Reynolds was gonna be the Green Lantern, I'm like, who is this white guy pretending to be Green Lantern? And I didn't even know there was a whole Hal Jordan. I don't know what made them start with Jon Stewart, but that was a great pick in my opinion. And I think they should have kept that going because they know a lot of people grew up with Jon Stewart.
Right.
So that's what you should have. That's what you should have done.
Are you gonna make me care about these characters? Like, I still don't really like. I mean, like outside of Spider-Man and of course Black Panther, like Iron Man, it's like I can't watch another Iron Man. I don't care if he's black, Jamaican, Chicago, whatever you want to be. Like, I'll never watch another like Black Panther or not Black Panther, Iron Man, because Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like Batman, it's like it takes a while to do this, but it's like the cartoon Batman is always going to be my Batman.
Yeah.
Then next it's like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Like Robert Pattinson's better to me than Ben Affleck.
Yes, to me as well.
But it's like, if that's going to be Batman that I'm going to watch for the next 10 years, then I'd rather watch Robert Pattinson than you try to put somebody else.
That's where it comes, because he says that, like, so the Batman and the Joker movies, they're considered DC Elseworlds. So like they'll still be able to get their sequels and be able to branch and do their own thing, but it's not going to be the main continuity. So like we probably won't see, unless they do some like world clashing event, we probably won't see Robert Pattinson play with Jason Momoa or whoever else they get. Right. So he'll be in his own, which I think it works because I think that the Batman in and of itself is a little more grounded. The Robert Pattinson movie was definitely more grounded and definitely more like basic level superhero type of stuff. I do want to see them explore a little bit more sci-fi elements. I don't want everything to be a mystery. Like let the nigga go up against Mr. Freeze or something like that. Like let's mix it up a little bit. So I'm curious who they cast in these new roles. I think they said Jason Momoa will still be Aquaman and Zachary Levi should still be Shazam. I don't know about anybody else. I know Henry Cavill is out. I don't know if anybody else's role is safe or where they're going with that. It'll be very interesting because, like you said, there does have to be, because one, especially with DC, like diehards, like they're like, you guys have let us down so many times and you guys only had like 3 good gems at all this. You really got to like prove yourself to us, essentially, is where they're at. And I'm kind of in that same boat, not only even on some like y'all let me down type of stuff, but because there has been a lot of subpar work. Like y'all animated stuff is way better than y'all live action. Like it's not even close. Like most people want stuff and no, just animate this comic book. Y'all don't got to get no real actors for that.
Right.
So I'm curious to see where they end up going, because there is a lot that can be touched on story wise. So that could be, it could be fun. Most you can do is pray for the best.
Because I know they're going to get Timothy Chalamet the God to play Damien.
You think? I think they need to get old boy from Euphoria, Ashtray.
Yeah,
he's
I see you had post that, and I'm like,
yes,
I could see it, but I don't know if he's that caliber actor, because you still need somebody.
The actor, you're right. I don't know that, but he's like a freak athlete. I'm talking like gymnast, boxer, all of that stuff. So it's like they just stunt me. There go right there.
It's options there. I mean, but who do you get to play Batman at this point? Because y'all got Ben Affleck, and that was a stretch.
No, he was a little bit accurate to the old man Batman, but I think a lot of people were saying Jensen Ackles would be the guy from Supernatural. He's in his 40s. He's built pretty decently. So like I can see you having a teenage son. That makes sense.
Right.
So the real question, in my opinion, if they decide to do both Nightwing and Red Hood, is where's the age gaps looking like for them? Because you feel me? Like you gotta have it reasonable where there is somewhat of a father-son dynamic between Batman and Nightwing and Red Hood and all of that, but it not be, okay, this nigga 35 playing your son. No.
If you figure Nightwing comes around when Batman's like 28.
Something like that. Either early or mid-20s, I believe, yeah.
And so by the time Batman's 35, what's Nightwing, about 20?
Maybe 20?
20, 21, maybe 22-ish. So then right around there, you would have Jason Todd be Red Hood. So you got like maybe a 8-year difference between the two, 6-7-year difference.
That'd be interesting. That's for James Gunn to figure out. We'll see what he does. Are there any final thoughts on anything we've talked about before we get up out of here?
No, I think we had a pretty full one, hit everything we were supposed to.
Really good episode. Happy Black History Month. Zoo, you got anything before we get up out of here?
Nope.
All right, man.
We didn't hear a Happy Black History Month. That's shocking points.
Maybe that's why he didn't watch Black. Maybe that's why he didn't watch Black Panther. He was like, you think I want to see all these Negroes running around?
Like I said, you can @ Friendly Fire for any apologies, anything you guys want to hand out.
For sure.
DM, send cash.
Cash app, my cash app is in my bio.
A black woman, black child.
Reparations. We need them
Reparations in any form.
For
Free
sure.
lunch.
All of that. We thank y'all for tuning in to yet another exhilarating installment of the Friendly Fire podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns, reparations, make sure you DM us at friendly_fire on IG and Friendly Fire on TikTok. Once again, friendly_fire on IG and Friendly Fire on TikTok. Artists, you can send your artwork and MP3s to friendlyfire2021@gmail.com. Once again, friendlyfire2021@gmail.com. If it's music and we like it, goes on at the end of our podcast. If it's artwork, we'll purchase it, try to put it up on our wall somewhere. We'll figure that out.
Blue wall with pictures.
Insert blue wall behind G Baby. We thank y'all, man. On behalf of my boys, I am Rico, G Baby, Zoo, Friendly Fire. Be blessed.
Peace.